It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome to the best show that you'll ever know. It's the Dep Lewis Show, and this is episode 48. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, September 10th, 2023. A great day to be a video gamer, a great day to be a sports fan, and a great day to be a fan of the Dep Lewis Show because I am back here for another episode. So welcome to the show. It's going to be a great one for you today. We have a lot of video game talk and much more, so please be excited. I'm going to start with some housekeeping items to help improve this podcast in any way I can. Follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere, please. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Dep Lewis Show basically available anywhere you can find podcasts. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. Some clips are returning this week, so please go look for those and go like and support those. That'll be helpful to me as well. Trying to get as most eyeballs and eardrums on the Dep Lewis Show as I can, just to help it out and get this video game information and news out there. So that's the whole goal here. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the ultimate place to support. And I will talk about this longer at the end of the show. So be prepared for that. But just thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for even hitting play on this episode and giving it a shot. So you've already accomplished your mission in my mind. So just thank you for being here. I hope you had a great week. There's a lot of cool things starting today. It's September 10th. This is the official first Sunday of the NFL, so I'm excited for that. We all know the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Carolina Panthers. We usually talk about them in the Miscellaneous Talk section, so we will definitely do that today. But sports is kicking off. There's some pretty great video games that have been released, and that is what we're going to talk about today. So this show, there's 3 sections as always. First section, what I've been playing, what video games I've been playing since I've last talked to you on the podcast, so it's since last week. The mid sections where we smoke on some mid. It's the video game news. It's what I've been seeing across the video game landscape. Interesting things that have happened over the video game, that happened in the video game industry over the course of the last week that I think are interesting. So this could be news, it could be releases, delays, people retiring, things like that. And then the final section is the Miscellaneous Talk section where I talk about whatever I want to outside the video game world. So that can usually be sports, books, comedy, things like that. I think today we have some comedy and some sports, so that is the plan for the show today. So I'm sipping some coffee. Hopefully you are too. This is Sunday morning. It's around 9 a.m. And it's going to be a great day for a show. So welcome to the show, episode 48. So let's see here. What do we have for you today? So let's get into some notes from last show. Last show was the official first guest of the Dep Lewis Show. That was Sanfi. We recorded the episode at his house. It was very fun to have a guest. I plan on having Sanfi on the podcast again, especially if he would like to. And then more potential guests in the future as well, because that was very fun. I was, looking into some audio setup things. We kind of just put the mic on the desk and let it rip. So next time, I've learned that there actually is a setting on my microphone for a 2-person podcast. So I definitely should have tried that before the podcast last time. I also could just get another mic and hook it up to my laptop, but I think I need another USB connector. So that's just one other thing, but I will definitely think about that before the next guest podcast, because that was a very fun thing to do. It was fun to take this show on the road. We had other people in the house too while we were there, and it was just a fun time. So we had a little bit longer of an episode last week. I think we definitely could have gone longer. We ended up going out to eat some dinner, and that's why we had to cut the podcast short, but we had a great dinner. I had a really busy week in my world, so it's been kind of crazy. Been doing some traveling back and forth, traveling around, and it's been nice to be here back in my place for the end of the week to play some of these video games. So just shout out again to Sanfi for being on the show. He was a great guest, and I know he's been playing some video games this week as well. So the main thing I've been playing this week that I want to talk to you about is a release called Starfield, and I am officially playing this game. It officially released on Wednesday, September 6, 2023 for Xbox Series X and S and PC. It's $69.99 for the standard version, and it's also on Game Pass. So that is how I'm playing this game on Game Pass, which was very nice to be able just to download. I was able to have the the fortitude or the strength not to pay the $30 for the early access. So if you have it on Game Pass, you've already ponied up your funds for the monthly subscription, so you're not paying anything extra there. But it was like a week prior, you could get the upgraded digital whatever version, and it was $35, and you could basically just unlock the game a week early. And then also people were playing this game with review codes very early, so there's been a lot of information trickling out about this game. So you're here today to listen to the Dep Lewis Show thoughts on Starfield. And I gotta tell you, they're pretty good thoughts, and I'm really enjoying this game. So let's get into it. We're gonna go down my notes here, and then I'm gonna tell you some other things I think about it. So I restarted my character, so I played my initial character for about an hour. I was trying to create a character semi in my likeness of like what I would pick and how I would act in the world. So I was picking the one where they like being on the ground. There was like Terra something. It was you get a benefit from being on the ground and not in space. So I'm a little bit scared of flying and heights. So I was like, I'm gonna pick that. I picked I think I picked the introvert one, and then I might have picked another option. And I was picking, I think I made him a diplomat because I wanted the persuasion trait. But I ended up playing this for about an hour, thought about it, and I really want to play this game a little bit as a run and gun. The gunplay in this has been pretty fun. I was telling Sanfi last week that I heard somebody comparing this to Destiny before I played it. And once I started playing it, I'm not going to go that far to call it like Destiny gunplay, but the whole vibe of the world and the style of the guns, a little bit of the shooting, some of the gravity stuff, we're able to jump up pretty high and then shoot. Some of that is reminiscent of Destiny. I don't think I'd want to be saying that the gunplay is as good as Destiny, because that's one of the elite markers of gunplay and for first-person shooters, I'd say. But I was like, hey, I want to really, this is the way I'm going to play this game mainly. So I restarted my character. I had the goal of making him like a bad person. Like I'm going to kind of pick the rogue options, the kill the guy option, the steal the thing option. So I'm going to kind of play as a bad person. So I picked the space rebel background because that came along with persuasion as well. It came along with ballistics and one other thing that I liked about it. But all three of the options fit my supposed playstyle pretty well. So that's what I'm going with. And then I wanted to pick my traits to help me out. So I ended up picking for my new run. So I've been playing through this new run. I'm about 6 hours in on my new character, and I'm loving it so much. So I picked the space scoundrel as my background. And then for my traits, I did pick introvert, which I am a little bit regretting that. Introvert gives you a bonus to yourself in some way if you're traveling alone, which I feel like I usually do in these games or the prior games. But you can also pick the extrovert, which gives you a benefit if you do travel with people. And in my whole 6 hours pretty much with this game, I've been traveling with somebody. So I really should have possibly picked the extrovert perk, or maybe I need to boot this lady out of my party. I don't really know yet. I'm still kind of feeling it out. This game has a whole lot in the early section that it opens up to you and things you're able to do. So I think people could have a lot of different experiences playing this game. But I picked introvert. I picked wanted. Wanted brings, someone's placed a bounty on your head and there's people trying to get you. So randomly, when you're, I was going to say globe trotting, but when you're universe trotting through the Starfield universe, some mercenaries or some dudes can roll up on you and try to kill you. And you're able to kill them. And, I guess the benefits here are you're able to get more damage when your health is low. So, that's over the course of the game you're doing this because of this perk. And then the trade-off is you're having to fight these guys whenever they show up to fight you. But I've heard that they're fairly easy to defeat, and I figured maybe they would have some drops or some credits or some stuff I could sell, from their bodies and make some money off it. So that's something I like to do in this game, is try to get my funds up. And I thought that would be a good way to, to help me out, help me level, help me get some gear, and then help, just help. Man, I'm losing my train of thought there, but help me level, help me, train, and then also give me a boost when my health is low. So I thought that was a pretty good perk, actually. So that's one of the traits I picked. And then the last one I picked is Neon Street Rat. I was reading online that it's beneficial to pick one of the 3 factions because it can get you some cool options. So I decided to pick the Neon Street Rat because I figured that seemed most like my character's background. So it gives me some dialogue options, I believe. And but my bounties will be higher with the other faction. So, but overall, I'm trying to kind of play a bad character. I haven't really succeeded on that as much because it is kind of hard to do, and it really kind of blunt forces some of the options. But I've been trying to, accept the missions. I'm not trying to turn everybody down. So I've been trying to accept missions and do them. But I've been trying to like ask for money or just kind of be a little bit of a jerk in this game. So that's the way I'm sort of playing this. But it's been really fun. I had fun designing my character. He's kind of a bigger dude he has like really super blonde hair and it's kind of long and he's got a huge beard. He's got a face tat. I don't think I gave him any face jewelry. I gave him a scar. So, he's looking pretty tough out there. Role playing him right. And, just walking around this game and I'm loving it. So let's just get back into my notes here some. So I restarted my character. There is the like leaving the cave or leaving the entry section moment, leaving the vault moment. It's when you're leaving that mining facility and you walk out onto the planet and you're going out there to meet Barrett and the Crimson Fleet attacks. So, it's the very beginning of the game where you're going out, the thing breaks down the wall and you get outside and you're going to meet Barrett and hand him off that big piece of metal junk or whatever. And, leaving there, you get your leaving the cave moment. So it looks pretty awesome. It was a pretty nice scene there. I like seeing the mountains in the background. It all looks pretty realistic, which is cool and just really impressive. So nice to see that. Barrett was the first guy we meet. He pulls up, a little fight ensues, and then he gives me his ship to go on my mission. So he wants me to go meet the group Constellation, tell him about what I've seen, and he's nice enough to hand me his ship. So he gives me a smartwatch. So that was, reminiscent to me of, getting handed the Pip-Boy. So you get handed a smartwatch, has a cool little scene of you getting handed it, and then it's on your wrist, and then you have your new, way of getting information. So very cool start, hitting some of the tropes of the Bethesda series and Fallout series and Skyrim series. I was even saying there's some of the opening doors and closing door sounds in here, just really makes you feel like you're playing a Bethesda game. And it's been a long time, probably since Fallout 4, since I played a Bethesda game. And that one didn't hit as hard for me as Fallout 3 or New Vegas. So, it's been a minute since I've really been enjoying one of these. And I just love the style of this world. And it also feels so homey being a Bethesda game and having all those things in the game as well. So I think they're really, really nailing this completely. And what else do I have to say? New Atlantis is one of the first big cities you get to. I think it's the most populous city in the game. I was doing some side stuff here. I went shopping. I've been having fun with like buying my guy outfits. And you can choose to, your guy has to always be wearing his spacesuit apparently. But if you want to show off your outfits in the cities, you can make that option available. So that's what I've been doing. And I've been trying to keep some cool outfits. I haven't really been selling those too much. I've been having a lot of fun with the inventory and finding the weapons and selling them and finding things to sell and looking for expensive items and looting guys and doing all that kind of stuff. So, it's one of those games. It's really, really awesome. Let's see. So I went to New Atlantis. I've been to Mars. The gravity there was really cool. You can jump really high. So it was fun to see that. Mars was all red. And it was crazy how they pretty much live underground on Mars. So it was just an interesting look at, the possibilities of how this could actually go if, people were to live on Mars one day. It's not as inhabitable as the Earth, apparently. So these people are living underground. They're under their mining things. They have a little more straightforward way of life. So I think that was pretty cool to see. The bartender there was really adamant on, hey, we don't make fancy drinks here like they do in the city or whatever. So, that's kind of the whole ethos, I guess, of this Mars colony. So it's been fun to see that kind of stuff in the game, where New Atlantis seemed like more of just your normal kind of modern city kind of thing. Mars is having a colony of people a little more, down to the basics is what I was getting at. So it was making me think of, a certain type of person would like Mars or be on Mars. And there's different people in this galaxy, and it's going to be cool to see all the different areas. So I was out exploring Mars. I went to a fracking station. Yeah, while I was exploring Mars, it became too hot. So I felt like I was playing, Zelda, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. So I had fast traveled back to my ship. So I don't really know what to do in that situation. So I was wondering about in this game. I've been going to the planets. There's other options of where you can land on the planets. I haven't been doing that as much, and I finally decided to do that. And that's when I got to this fracking station, and it ended up being too hot. So I don't know if I need some more equipment, if it's a little too early in the game for me to be exploring as much as I would like to, or making it easy for me to explore, so I'm not sure there. But I've been having fun with all the traveling and seeing the planets and things like that. But more to come there. So I am trying to explore. But there are limitations. It's a very dangerous galaxy out there. Space is dangerous, and that is what I'm learning very quickly. So the fast travel in this game is useful. It really does help you get around to places quickly, and it's nice. And they have cool options in the menu, like for when you pull up to your ship, you can either press a button to get into your ship, or you can press a different button and it puts you right in the cockpit of your ship. So there's a few options like that throughout this game that are really cool and helpful and really just make the experience fun. And there's a ton of places in this game. Different kind of scenery's been cool. I haven't been bored looking at anything. I've been excited to see all the new stuff I'm coming across. So it's been fun. I haven't, the fast travel's been useful as well too, because you want to go back and sell something, or you want to get to your ship, and you're doing a good bit of inventory management here and figuring out what you like. So it's a useful thing in this game. So once you start playing the game, you start unlocking your levels, and you can level up your traits and unlock some new traits, I guess. And I picked Commerce as the first one, and I picked Ballistics. So Commerce helps you get more return for what you sell, and then also gets lower prices on things you want to buy. So a lot of these games, I like to try to make some money so I can buy some stuff and buy different armors and outfits and weapons and whatever I may like throughout the world. So I do that in Zelda a good bit, and I've been doing that here in this game. And so I picked those two perks, and I've been trying to be a gun toting guy. So I picked Ballistics, which helps you out with multiple forms of shooting. And then I said I wanted to pick something to help me carry more or possibly run more, and I've done that since I've been playing. So I picked some traits for carrying more. I picked the one for running more. And I've also picked the traits for a shotgun. I found a really cool 12-gauge shotgun, and I've been using that. So my plan really in this game is to focus on my pistol and my shotgun, and then get my other perks up out there in the world. So my other perks, looking through my notes here, sorry out there to the listeners, but basically just trying to make some money. And I really like using the pistol in these games, and I want to try to boost. I want to have some really few strong weapons, and then really boost my other perks, and possibly get some more persuasion or lock picking in there. And it's not called lock picking in this game; it's called digi picking, digipick, and it's a very fun mini game. You have a lock with multiple rings, and then you have different rings or digital unlocks on the side, and you pick one. You're basically looking for the correct order to unlock these and looking for the right slots to put them in. And you have to be mindful of, the next one coming up, a little bit like Tetris almost. A little bit of a lock-picking Tetris, I would say. But it's a very fun game, or a very fun mini game, and I'm excited to do it whenever I get to it. And I've been collecting digipicks, as I go throughout the world, and I've been buying them from vendors when I see them too, because it was always an important thing I like to keep in Bethesda games. So that's been an important focus for me. I already said the doors opening sound like a Bethesda game or Skyrim, so that just feels so nice and homey. I love all the art and the billboards around the towns. It's just so Bethesda-like, so fun to look at. All the different posters and just everything around the town. The little design and style things are really, really cool. At the end of my playing yesterday, I was able to dock onto a few ships. So that was a pretty neat process, and you basically just dock onto the ship. You open the door to your ship, and you're on the new ship. And I went to this one ship, and I cleared out these bad guys, looted some things, and just got back on my ship and dipped the heck out of there. So it's been super fun. It really does it gives you the perfect, it's giving you the perfect space experience of being this, of role-playing this, and it's been so much fun. So, docking around the ships, docking on the other ships is cool. The flying is so cool. The interface on your ship, it looks amazing. Space is all dark, but your interface on your HUD when you're flying your ship is really, really cool, and the controls are neat. It's basically you're controlling 6 or 7 different levels of things, one of them being energy that helps you control the speed of your spacecraft, and the other ones are missiles and lasers and gravity and a few other things. So you're really just tinkering with those, and it's easy to control, and you're out there flying in space, people can attack you. There can be checks for contraband. If you're pulling up to a really populated planet, they're going to have security outside of it. So, the world immersion here and the role playing and just feeling like a cool space guy out there in space doing this thing has just been so neat. And it's been a whole lot of fun. I've been really kind of binging this game since I've started playing it over the weekend. I was really kind of busy this week, so I didn't have the most chances to play it, and I did that little bit of a restart with my character, so it's been fun, and I'm going to be playing more of this game today. And what else do I want to say? I'm playing with the pistol and the shotgun. I haven't been much of a jerk as I would like to be. I picked introvert, but maybe I should get rid of this. And I heard you can get rid of your traits, but you're not able to replace them. So it might be something where I just have to take the hit and get rid of it. And then once you get to another level, I can get the extrovert. Maybe that would be the worst case as I think through it. Or, maybe I just kind of flub that and it's not going to be the most optimal run for that. But, what can you do? I'm also playing this game on easy. I want to say that. I usually play Bethesda games on easy because I'm not the most hardcore of a grinder or just wanting to play something so difficult. So I am playing this on easy. It's cool to see, or it's nice they have the difficulty options in this game. That obviously comes with some trade-offs, I believe. But it's been helping me enjoy this game, and I really do like the world more so than pushing my head at the combat, even though the combat is fun in this game. So let's see. And I've been liking having someone rolling with me, so I really shouldn't have picked introvert. But so this is, not spoilery, but just kind of the basis for the story is you're collecting hunks of metal. So, your character, he's mining around with his crew. He comes across this hunk of metal. He touches it and sees this crazy vision. So they, I don't know if it gets determined, but the guy Barrett, he's gone through the same experience. So he pulls up on a ship. You help him out, and then he says, hey, you need to go tell Constellation, the people that I told about this vision, that you had the same kind of vision. So, two stories corroborating the same thing makes it a little more interesting. And then I think they've all found one more piece of this metal, and then I found one since I've been playing this game. So we're collecting these hunks of metal that you bring in this room at the lounge. So that is like the headquarters for the Constellation, which is this group I've joined, and we're building these hunks of metal to come together to see what could happen, and we don't really know. One of the people in the lounge was saying like it's defying our knowledge of how these objects work or whatever. So pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to see that, and I like the basis for the story. I think it's a good enough story to keep this thing driving, and then the world and the characters are really the thing that are really building out the story in this game, and then even your own little bit of role playing too. So I'm excited to continue with that. I'm excited to see the choices that they unveil. This game should have some choices, some morality choices that change the game or affect the way you're treated in some ways. So I'm excited to see some more of that. But basically in this game you have a lot open to you. So there's going to be a lot of talk of me exploring and just going around looting things, and but also pushing with the mission. I've heard in some pre-game advice that you kind of want to push the main story a little more so than you would. Obviously, you can do whatever you want in these games, and they're designed to do that. But I was hearing it's beneficial to kind of push the main story, and then kind of go back to the other things. But I don't know. The story's still going to be told on how I'm going to play it. But I've been having a lot of fun with Starfield. It's been the only game I played this week. I actually took my Switch traveling with me, but I didn't even end up playing it. So when I got back to my place, I started into the Starfield, and I have not stopped. So that is the plan for the near future. I don't have any other releases coming out that I'm trying to play until the October 20th, I believe. So I have a whole month and more, of playing what I want to. And I think Starfield is going to be the start of that. And I can't wait. So hopefully you're out there playing it too. If you have any thoughts, please email DepLewisShow@gmail.com as always. Let me know what you think. And we are going to take our first break of the show. So, thank you for listening to what I've been playing. It's been Starfield, and thank you for Bethesda for making a great game. Shout out Todd Howard. Shout out all the people on the team over there. Just excellent job. Really, really cool. So we're going to take the first break. You're going to hear some lovely music from friend of the show and friend of real life Ballness. And then we're going to come back for the midsection where we're going to talk about some video game news. So that's the plan. So let's see what we have for you today for a little teaser. We have some hardware stuff to talk about. We have a release. Not too much on the news front today, but we're going to get into it in just a few, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the midsection of Dep Lewis Show, episode 48. This is the news section, what I've been seeing across the video game landscape, things I think are cool or interesting. Don't have too much to talk to you about this week, but we are going to get into it. So last week we talked about Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario. since 1991 or something like that. He's retiring. He's stepping into his new role. It's like Mario Ambassador or something like that. I just wanted to update you on, some more news there. So Nintendo doesn't plan to announce Mario's new voice actor ahead of Super Mario Bros. Wonder's release on October 20th, 2023. So that's the new side-scrolling Mario that's coming to Nintendo Switch in October. So they don't plan to announce the new voice actor before then. So that was something that I was wondering. So that's interesting that they said that. They say the new voice actor will be revealed in the credits of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And there won't be any special announcements happening ahead of the release. So, thinking through this, I'm just trying to speculate on why they're doing it this way. But I initially liked this as the idea to replace Charles. It makes it a little bit unceremonious of, bringing the new person in. And it kind of lets the work speak for itself. So you're going to play the game. You're going to have your opinion on if you like the voice or not. And then at the end of the game, you can see the person's name. And then you could do your investigating into them or learning more about them and seeing what they're about or who they are kind of thing. So I think it's a pretty good way to replace such a long-standing, iconic voice for a character. Mario, hopefully it's not going to sound too much different. Hopefully, I'm sure it will a little bit, but hopefully it's going to be in the same vein. They're playing the character of Mario. That's the whole goal here. So the new person's going to be playing that character as well. But I just thought this was an interesting way on moving forward with this. And I've heard different people talk about, did Martinet want to retire? Are they forcing him to retire? And I don't really know. I think the way they're saying that he still wants to do voice acting. So, people argue, hey, well, if he still wants to do voice acting, wouldn't he want to be Mario? But then I've heard other people say, hey, maybe he wants to venture out and do other things and they wouldn't let him. So, I don't really know. But either way, they're moving on and there's going to be a new voice. And we're going to learn about it in the credits of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So I'll definitely keep you updated on that. And I guess there's no telling, even if they reveal this person's name, I don't know if they're going to be the person going forward. So we don't really know too much there. We will find out something on October 20th, 2023 when that video game releases and when I play it, because that's the next game. I believe that's 100% buy for me on the Dep Lewis Show. So that game releases on October 20th, same day as Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on PS5. So that is a great day for video gaming in October. So let's talk about, there's a new, since we are into September here, we're into football season. The weather's getting a little bit colder where I live, so that's been nice. And it's going to stay that way, it seems like. So we're moving along, and we're getting closer to the holidays. So, these companies are gearing up for the holidays, and Nintendo definitely is doing that. They have a new Nintendo Animal Crossing Switch Lites on the way. So 2 different versions of this. They're going to be $199.99 US dollars for a Switch Lite bundle that's Animal Crossing themed. It comes in light pink or blue with leaves printed on the console. It also comes, this is the most surprising and cool part, it also comes with a download code for Animal Crossing New Horizons. So that was the game that released in 2020. Smashing success. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I played over 400 hours of this game. That was during the year of COVID, but it was a great game. I think it would have been great during any time, but I just got to play a huge concentration of that all at once. But that game is amazing, and it's really cool that they're bundling it in with the console, because usually if you're getting a special theme console, you're not getting the actual game that the theme is based on. And I think it's a great sign of goodwill and just a really nice thing that they should do this more often. So that'll be something I check on as over the history of the Dep Lewis Show. I want to look for that as a trend, because I think that's a nice thing. I think with these digital copies, it's easy to give people a digital code for things. It's not going to turn these companies over, and I think it's a great thing. So really, really cool. So kudos there. Both models will be available for purchase on October 6, 2023, but the colors are exclusive to specific retailers. So the pink Isabel Aloha Edition will be available through Target, while the blue Tammy and Tommy Aloha Edition will be available through Walmart. So I did do a quick look on Amazon for these. I didn't immediately find them, and then I believe the pre-orders are already kind of taken up through Target, because I kind of looked for that pink Isabel Edition, since I'm a pretty big Isabel fan over here. But I really don't need a Switch Lite, but really, really cool console. I like the design, and having the dedicated handheld is cool. I had a Switch Lite at one point, and I traded it in with my original Switch to get the OLED. So I haven't had any mishaps or qualms about that, I guess, or disappointments. The OLED is really, really cool. I really like the OLED screen, probably more than the other options. So the OLED's really cool. And that brings me to the next topic of discussion. Hold on one second. Let me sip some coffee. I'm trying to wake up over here today. So there is a new, allegedly, what's another word for that? Allegedly, a new Switch 2 is being shown off. So Nintendo has reportedly demoed Switch 2 at Gamescom 2023. The visuals are comparable to PS5 and the Xbox Series, is what they're saying. They're saying this new hardware is running a souped-up version of Zelda Breath of the Wild, although there's apparently no suggestion the game will be re-released. So they're using Breath of the Wild as a showpiece for this new system and showing the graphical fidelity and what it can do. So that's pretty interesting. And then VGC also reported Nintendo showed off Epic's The Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 tech demo running on the hardware with the specs Nintendo is targeting for its future console. The site said that this demo ran using NVIDIA's AI-powered DLSS upscaling technology alongside ray tracing with visuals compared to PS5 and Xbox Series console. So that's where that tidbit was coming from. An IGN article saying apparently this new next-gen console can be used in portable mode like the Nintendo Switch and has an LCD screen as opposed to an OLED screen in order to keep the cost down. It also comes with a cartridge slot for physical games. Nintendo has yet to comment on backwards compatibility. So I think there's a lot of interesting things there. Saying it can be used in portable mode. I'm a giant fan of that. I really just want them to run it back. I could do a Switch 2, increase the power, but have the same kind of setup. I like having the dock. I like having the portable mode. I would hope to use the Joy-Cons again, would be my hope. So that's one marker off there. Check for me. Good. It has an LCD screen as opposed to an OLED screen in order to keep the cost down. I would rather have the OLED screen. I don't know if there's going to be that option at launch. I would pay the $50 more possibly to get the OLED, but possibly they will release an OLED screen later on like they've done for this original one. So, maybe everyone from the jump will have to get the LCD and then they'll have the OLED option in the future. So that just might have to be something that is specific to me, but whatever, LCD, keep the cost down, do what you can. Sounds like they're doing some great things here, so, you can't have it all. It also comes with a cartridge slot for physical games. I think this is a good sign. I can't really imagine them designing a game cartridge that's new. I don't know why they would. If the system is going to have the same basic form factor, I think you'd want the carts to do as well. I just think it would be a bold move to switch this up, and hopefully this is going to come with backwards compatibility. Because I think that, it's 2023. I think it's time. I think, the Switch came out in 2017. Not that old. This new console is going to be able to run anything that runs on the Switch. And I think they just need to do it. I don't know if they can do it in perpetuity forever, keep everything on your account, but they should. That's what these other PlayStation and Xbox do. So that's what they should be working towards. And hopefully they are, and they probably are. So a lot of good information here, a lot of good allegedlys here. So hopefully a lot of this stuff is true. Another thing, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa explained during an investor's presentation that the company isn't considering new hardware. I think this was just him saying people are trying to dial in the time frame. But he's saying that he expects to have new hardware out by the end of the 2023-2024 financial year. Which ends March 31st, 2024, I believe is what they said. So I don't know if that's true. I might have written my note down incorrectly, but I believe people are thinking this is going to come out in the holiday season of 2024, and that we should get some type of announcement by March. Is kind of what I've heard. So, we will see. I will definitely be keeping my ears to the streets for information on the Switch 2. It's something that I'm going to want to buy on day one. So, even thinking now, I need to get my coins ready together and be on the lookout for a pre-order of some kind or the information. So, I guess that's the next step, is to look out for the information on the console. So once I hear that, I will bring that to the Dep Lewis Show, and you will be the first to know from me. So Nintendo Switch 2 out there looking like it's coming. All right, the last little bit of news to talk about this week. There hasn't been too much. just want to point out that the NBA 2K24 has been released this past week. It came out on September 8th, 2023 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It's $69.99 for the standard edition. And I was just thinking today, I'm finally back on doing some clips for this show. So I took a clip of Starfield and I took a clip of MLB The Show 23. So I'm going to talk about the Atlanta Braves on the final section of this show. So I like to get a sports clip, a clip from a baseball game, playing the Braves to use as a clip. So, last year I was doing that with football and doing it with basketball some too. So I was thinking maybe I'll do some baseball clips until the end of baseball season, then I'll switch over to basketball or football then, and hopefully one of these games will be on sale because NBA 2K24 and Madden go on sale pretty quickly and a pretty substantial discount sometimes. So it's kind of tough to pay full price if you don't really, if you're playing a bunch of other stuff. And I would just kind of be getting these games to get these clips. So I don't know, just want to let you know it's out there. I know it's a big game for a lot of people. It's been a game, I've played probably almost every year it's ever been released. So definitely a series that I'm a fan of, and it is out now. So go check that out. So that is going to wrap up this mid-section of the show. Not too much to talk about here in the mid-section. So we went over, Nintendo's plan for their new voice actor. We're going to have a new voice actor in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the actor will be announced in the credits of that game. There's a new Nintendo Animal Crossing Switch Lite coming for the holidays. There's a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 rumors being peddled around and talked about now, and I think there's a lot of substantial claims there, so we will see. And then NBA 2K24 is out now if you want to go play that. So we are going to take another break. We're going to come back in just a second for some miscellaneous talks. I want to tell you some stuff to do since I like to boss you around. Go heat up your coffee. Go take something out of the fridge or defrost it for dinner tonight. Go clean something. Go empty your trash. Go fill your dog's water bowl. Go fold something. I got a washing machine problem over here today I got to solve. So that's something I got to consider in my life over here. So, just go do something productive for half a second and then come back and listen to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 48, in just a second. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 48. This is the Miscellaneous Talk section. This is where I talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So we're going to talk about some comedy first. So I've seen a new special this week, and it came out this week. It's Shane Gillis has a new special out on Netflix titled Beautiful Dogs. It came out September 9th, 2023. It was hilarious. I was watching this by myself, and I was laughing out loud, and I was staying at someone's house, and they were commenting on me laughing out loud so much. So it was kind of embarrassing in that regard, but it was a very funny special, and I recommend that you go watch it. Shane has a podcast, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. He does it with Matt McCusker. Matt McCusker has a new YouTube special out that's been out in the last couple months, so go check that out as well. And Shane Gillis is really, really killing it. He was on Joe Rogan for Protect Our Parks, number 9 with Ari and Mark Norman and Joe Rogan. So go watch that too. They did like a 5-hour podcast, and I made my way through that podcast because I like those guys, and just very, very fun. So it's been fun to see Shane doing some promo for the special. It was great to see the special, and just a wonderful time for comedy in general. There's been a flood of specials, and a lot of them have been from people I like and very hilarious. So speaking of some more comedy specials, they call him the Puerto Rican Rattlesnake. Luis J. Gomez, he has a new special out. It's called 30 Minutes with Luis J. Gomez. It's presented by Gas Digital. They're doing this on Gas Digital for a bunch of different guys. So Dave Smith did this. I think Kurt Metzger was one of the guys doing this. They have a whole plan for it, so I think that's really cool. And this is Luis's turn, 30 Minutes with Luis J. Gomez. It had over 100,000 views when I checked, and it just came out a couple of days ago. The podcast that Lewis does, Real Ass Podcast, this week had Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, Ari Shafir. So there's the Protect Your Parks boys, and then they had Tony Hinchcliffe and Brian Redband, so Kill Tony guys, on there as well. So that was just an excellent episode of Rap. I watched some of the Gas Digital content and think it's really funny. and they have a lot of different shows, is what I'm saying. But I watch some of them. I definitely check on some of them, and they have some big time guests I like. And I got Lewis's special on my watch list. I'll probably watch it at some point. And they had an episode, or they had Kim Congdon was acting like Louis J. Gomez. I think she was Louis K. Gomez or something. It was just very funny. So go check that out. Go check out all the content from Louis and the Gas Digital guys. Very, very funny. So those are my two comedy things. Go watch Shane Gillis's new special, Beautiful Dogs. And go watch Louis J. Gomez's new special on YouTube, 30 Minutes with Louis J. Gomez, presented by Gas Digital. And then Shane's on Netflix. So those are the two locations. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Carolina Panthers. They begin their season today. I'm excited to get to see Bryce Young for the first time as a Panther in real life action. They're playing the Falcons in Atlanta at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to be glued to my TV in 3 hours here. If you're listening, in real time, it's almost 10 a.m. here on Eastern Time, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. I believe Brian Burns is going to play. So Brian Burns is going to play without getting an extension done, so that is scary to me, just in all sorts of terms, because I want them to pay him, and I don't want Brian Burns to play without his deal, because, what if he gets injured, has a terrible injury, then his $150 million or whatever that he's going to be offered is not going to be presented to him next year. He's going to be presented with a prove-it deal, because that is how, it's just the reality of the situation. This is some big-time money. These are some big-time stakes, and that is how these things work. So that is the whole reason for Brian Burns, doing this hold in or whatever it may be. He's been practicing the last couple of days to end the week. So that tells me, in my mind, that, Brian Burns is a good teammate, and he really does like the guys he's goes to work with every day. I think he wants to get the deal done. He hasn't been a distraction. He's been very positive. I feel like he's kind of said all the right things, and the coaches have said all the right things. Like, it's been okay, but it has been a little bit of a awkward standoff. And I think just a couple nights ago he was posting sad Spider-Man memes on Instagram or something. So, he has to feel a type of way about this. That's just natural. And I don't know. I just think it's a bad situation. But I'm interested to see how the season's going to go. I don't like the Brian Burns thing looming over the team, and I think it would be cool to get him paid, but it's not happening. Hopefully it can happen this week. I think they've said the sides really aren't too close, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go, but it seems he's going to play today. So, just me being a fan of him is hope to see he does well. And that would be outstanding if he has a couple sacks and, shoots one of those Spider-Mans up at the front office. Mr. David Tepper, get your checkbook out. Mr. Scott Fitter, get your checkbook out. I think you need to sign this man. You don't have anybody getting paid like him. He's 25 years old. Pay him. Make the locker room happy. Give Bryce Young an elite person on defense on his side that it seems like he's friends with. Like, pay this guy, man. It would be smart. I know the Panthers are thinking, hey, we don't want to pay this guy. We might stink. That's what they're thinking. We're going to stink. Why are we going to pay this guy all this money if we're not going to make the playoffs? But you're thinking backwards there. You should pay this guy, because that's the only chance you're going to have at making the playoffs. You're not going to make the playoffs by being so scared. And yeah, maybe you will miss it, but you're not going to have a chance of making it unless you do some big time moves. So pay Brian Burns. It's going to help you on the field. It's going to help you in the locker room. And that is my plea to the Carolina Panthers this week. I say it every week, but damn, come on, guys. So week 1 against the Falcons. I'm excited to watch that at 1 o'clock today. The Chiefs lost to the Lions opening night, so that was interesting. And it was just really, really fun to watch football again. And I'm going to watch a good bit of it today, and I'm excited for the Sunday night matchups and seeing what teams on at 4 I want to watch, and then watching Monday night. It's going to be epic. And then next week I'm actually going to the Monday night game at Bank of America Stadium, where the Panthers play the Saints. So I'm going to be at that game, so I'll definitely report back to you on this show about that. And great time to be a football fan. All right, so the official sport though of the Dep Lewis Show, and the official team of the Dep Lewis Show is the Atlanta Braves. So let's talk about what's happened since last week. They played the Dodgers last Sunday, and the Braves lost 1-3. So not much to say there. Blah, blah, blah. They did pretty well against the Dodgers, but you can't win them all. So no game on Monday, and then the Braves were in Atlanta against the Cardinals. So the Braves lost to the Cardinals on Tuesday, and then Wednesday night they lost to the Cardinals as well, and I was at this game. So I went to Atlanta with 2 friends, and saw the game. It was really, really fun. There was a lot of runs this game. Spencer Strider was the pitcher for the Braves, and he got touched up early. I think it was a 4-piece in the first inning, and then he kept walking people, and he had 2 more in the third or something like that. And they eventually had to pull him, so it wasn't a great display of pitching that night for the Braves. The Cards had Dakota Hudson on the mound. We actually did see one Dakota Hudson jersey walking around Atlanta, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, I went with a friend who was a Cardinals fan and another friend who was a Pirates fan. So the Braves were playing the Cardinals early in the week, so that was fun. Got trash talk there. My Cardinals friend was all happy because his team got some wins, some quality wins, over the course of a disappointing season, but he was happy to get some wins. So, what can you do? The game was fun. It was fun going to Truist Park. It was fun. I had a foot-long hot dog there. And then, hanging with the Pirates fan was fun too. And then, the Braves have been playing the Pirates later in the week. So, pretty good continuity there, I'd say. So, some more things I thought were cool about the Braves. We got some food before around the stadium, and then we went out and, had a drink after too. So, a lot of cool stuff around the stadium to go do. I thought it was cool that they shoot fireworks after each strikeout. So, I think Strider did have like 5 strikeouts amongst his kind of bad pitching effort, but we were seeing a lot of fireworks out there. I wrote about the hot dogs being so good. The Braves store was amazing. I actually didn't buy anything in that store, but I could have bought everything. They had every type of jersey you'd want. They had throwbacks. They had one with the Quick patches. They had official ones. They had all sorts of different player T-shirts and every different hat you could think of. It was so cool. I would love to win a lottery and be able to go in that store and just pick out what I wanted. Because that was baseball fan heaven in there. So just had a great time doing that. So that was part of my busy week as well. That I went to Atlanta for the game and had a really great week over here on the Dep Lewis Show. So the Braves had a little bit of a rocky week. So lost Wednesday to the Cards. Thursday they finally beat the Cards, and then they've moved on to the Pirates. So they won against the Pirates 8-2 Friday. So kind of back on track like you want them to be. But then they hit the opposite effect last night and lost to the Pirates 8-4. So the Braves play the Pirates again today at 1:35. So I'm going to have the Braves and the Panthers on at the same time. So that is as good as it gets around here, basically, for sports. So can't wait. And then next week, the Braves are at the Phillies to start the week. They have a doubleheader on Monday, a game Tuesday, and then Wednesday. So a whole bunch of Phillies early in the week. So Phillies are one of my arch rivals. They are pretty hot right now, and I'm going to be dialed in on watching these games, so I'm excited. And don't get doubleheaders too often, so that is going to be exciting as well. And then they're going to the Marlins to end the week, so some big division week. They play the Marlins in Florida Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I just want to shout out Ronald Acuna for being my favorite player ever. I love seeing him in person. I've been loving to see all these bombs he's been hitting. It's just been so much fun. He's been having such a successful season. And I just want to shout him out as my favorite player ever. I think he's my favorite Brave ever, too. It's either between him or Fred McGriff. Fred McGriff was my favorite player growing up. I think Ronnie has eclipsed even Mr. McGriff. So, shout out to Ronnie. You're the best player on the planet, the best player in my heart. And shout out to you, Mr. Number 13. I hope you hit a bunch of bombs today. So that is going to wrap up the Miscellaneous Talk section for the show this week. We talked about Shane Gillis' new special, Beautiful Dogs. We talked about Louis J. Gomez's new special, 30 Minutes with Louis J. Gomez. We talked about the Panthers playing today at 1 o'clock if you're listening in real time to start the season off. We talked about the Atlanta Braves and what they've been doing, and I went to the game this week. A couple more weeks of the season left, and the Braves are in a great spot for the playoffs, so happy there. And that is really all we have to talk about in the Miscellaneous Talk section, and that is going to wrap up the entire show. So just thank you for being a listener to this show. It's one of the more fun things I do. I had a whole lot of fun, taking the show on the road last week, and then I've also had a whole lot of fun doing the show back in this my normal studio here. So it's fun to be able to just keep doing it and have an outlet for talking about these video games and other things I think are interesting. So just thank you for listening. I want to reiterate some things from the beginning, just to kind of promote the show. I think it's helpful to do, and hopefully you can follow through on some of these things to help me out as well. So please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. So the podcast is basically available anywhere you can find podcasts. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok, so there will be some new ones of those today, so go check those out. Twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/Dep Lewis Show is the best place to support if you are a huge fan of the show. It's $1 a month for the ground floor tier. As a general support tier for the show, you also get ad-free versions of Dep Lewis Show's off-series, which I need to do one for Starfield coming up soon, and songs created by Dep Lewis Show and other content. For the first 100 subscribers only, and the price will never change. You will have access to all Dep Lewis Show Patreon content always, so go now. This is an investment for your entertainment future. So patreon.com/Dep Lewis Show. So thank you so much for being a listener to the show. This has been episode 48. For this upcoming week, I'm going to be watching the Panthers today. I'm going to be watching the Braves all week. I'm going to be playing Starfield. I'm going to be checking the video game news and most likely the comedy news. And maybe bringing some book talk back next week, since I have started a book up again. I'm trying to get to 13 finished books for the end of the year. So that's one thing to bring up. And, just thank you as always for listening. This has been episode 48 of the Dep Lewis Show, and I will be back next week for episode 49. See you then.